You're tuning in to Gone.net.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Gone.net. Another episode, second of the year. We are absolutely crushing the cadence of doing this on time this year.
Yeah. Don't blame me. Blame John. Blame John. John's
That's
always
true.
away.
That's true. That's true. That's fine.
You're gonna be away again in another few weeks too, aren't you? But only for a week.
Just a week. Well, no, sorry. We're leaving on the Fridays, so that's 2 Fridays. I'm gone.
Cool. He just told me that live on stream, so I didn't know. But there we go. So I'm wearing a hat today as well because as we were warming up, I was like, man, it looks like I've been mugged or something. So I put on a hat because it's snowing like nothing here. So I put on.
Shouldn't it be a toque then? If it's that cold, if it's snowing?
I got bright lights that you convinced me to buy a while ago that caused me to heat up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like key lights aren't I mean, I guess I can't. They don't really get hot.
Warm.
The bright light. No,
it's not incandescent or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. They're hot enough. They're in my face. They bother me. So
also, for anyone listening who might not know what a toque is, that's a Canadian term, I guess, huh? Like that's not something that I ever thought that much about until I think at one point I'd say, oh yeah, I'm like got my toque on, and people are like, what?
Is it Quebecois?
Maybe that's where it started. I think other people call them beanies sometimes.
The hell's a beanie?
That's what I'm saying. But
I'll ask I'm working with a group out of Montreal right now, and they're very big on their French. So I'll ask them: Is it a French word? Can you verify?
Oh, I'm sure it is. If it's not, they might claim it as such anyway. So
that's all right. It'll give a couple of them.
But you've got just like your standard football team or American football team hat, but this one right here, this is a nice one. It's a custom deal.
Importing that treasure to yourself, right?
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
For yourself?
We'll see. It was really a test run at first. Honestly, I don't know if I didn't pay that close attention. I thought it was going to be embroidered, and it's just like the print on. But I might have to find a different source.
What happened to the AI T-shirts?
They're there still. I just, you
got bored with it.
I got bored with it. Shocker.
John went and generated a few images. Was like, I love these.
This is great. I'm happy. Mission accomplished. I know how to do this. I don't need to ever do this again.
And now he won't even sell them. He had some good ones.
They're up there. No, they're up there. Well, I should put them in a different spot too. The challenge was I was trying to find a provider that would do like the whole drop shipping, but not so that I didn't have to handle any money, that it all just went to a not-for-profit or something, or some kind of charity, right? I didn't want to be responsible for because many platforms you can sell them and then like you get the proceeds and whatever, and then I could go donate it somewhere, but I don't want to deal with like the bookkeeping of that. Like that's not or like the optics of like I'm selling these things and I'm getting money and then I'm maybe donating it. I didn't want to do that. So there was only like one provider that I could find to do it, and I don't think they ship that cheaply outside of the US or anything, so I might have to look more.
Fine. I will not take a hat for now. But it's all right, because again, I'm going to need a hat, because seriously, like, again, the Bills did it last week. They may be out this week. I don't know. Go Bills.
So I have to find a different hat.
Well, I'll stay pretty hard. They've been playing good. It's like the Jays, right? We can keep cheering for the Jays.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They spent a lot of money, so. Mm-hmm. So what .NET stuff have you been doing this week, John? Anything fun?
I have been updating a lot of things here and there. My container stuff, I'm always like tweaking a little bit as there's updates, and I realize that it doesn't do something quite right. So working on that, working on skills, and I saw you were working on some skills too, and not in the sense that we're trying to improve ourselves. I mean, I guess it kind of is, but like AI skills are the new popular topic, right? It was MCP servers, and then it was custom agents, and now it's skills is the big topic. So,
which is just looks like documentation. So
I mean, it is.
I went in because I've been using Claude Code quite a bit. Now I don't do full apps with the damn thing yet. I'm not for, ease. I haven't successfully built a full app using Claude, but doing these little tidbits, right? I frame it all up the way I want it. And then I say, go do this thing. But I've given it the area that it's allowed to work. In fact, my prompt is usually very specific, as in, if you do any of the following, I'll friggin' kill you. If you put repositories around EF Core, if you put a continue in a loop, what was my others? You were laughing about them because I actually was like physically violent with AI. Or if you generate files that are outside of this without telling me, this will bring death to you. So it's like, and it's like, my apologies. I will never do that again.
I will never put my own existence at risk again. Thank you. Yeah,
but it does use continues, and I'm like, if you ever put a continue again, I swear to God, I will find you and kill you.
Well, it's funny because it's always like depending on the model too. Like, oh yeah, you're absolutely right. Let me do it, right? And it's just like, yeah,
I know I'm right.
Okay, like it's kind of the first time you experience like some of that. It's like not even the thing of it doing the wrong thing, but like how it kind of responds to like, oh no, yeah, you're correct. I missed that. And the first time I feel like you encounter that, it's like, oh wow, that's really cool. And then like, the 30th time later, you're like, yeah, I know you don't have to be like enthusiastic about this. This is all we know what's going on here.
To be fair, did you get the update for Alexa yet?
I don't have any of those.
Oh, that's right. You use the Siri.
I don't. Yeah,
I gotta keep my voice down because I have both of them in my room.
No, I try to not. I don't know. A few years back, I got really old and curmudgeon-y about data stuff, and I didn't really want either Amazon's or Google's assistants in my house, because like the nice thing about having an Apple one in your house is like they suck at doing all that stuff, so they're not using your data, right? Like,
but they gave you good hardware, so it's a
it's nice hardware. It's just the actual implementation is not amazing, right? Like I'm sure the Amazon stuff and Google stuff are like leagues ahead in terms of some of the stuff you use it for
their benefit, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah. And that's it. Yeah.
We already want pillows. Oh,
yeah. Facebook, let me show you some.
Show you all the pillows.
Yeah.
When you go to Amazon, I'm going to show you nothing but pillows. I bet you now if I go search it, because there's one in my room, I'm going to see nothing but pillows.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Anyhow, my point is that I have a beta. It was like, do you wish the beta? And my daughter went, oh yeah. And Preston was like, no. And once you opt into it, it's on. I can't find how to get it off. So I'm like, whatever. Now the problem is it, first of all, it takes forever to understand. Like, it's like I use it for shopping lists and timers, like daily, right? Hey, add this to the shopping list.
Yeah.
You wait, and then like 10 seconds later, got it. Hey, your shopping list is looking pretty. Hey, shut up. So it's obviously flagged me as an abuser, and I feel bad sometimes. And I'm like, no, I'm going to abuse the robot because I don't do it to anything else.
Yeah.
But this robot is going to be my personal servant. So I'm like, oh, you're too bubbly. Shut up.
But it is kind of funny how like your like first instinct is to be like, oh, that was kind of jerky, and they're like, oh no, wait a minute, it's a computer, it's fine.
Yeah, you shut up. You're done. Just do the thing I told you to do and go away. I don't want to hear you. Don't be bubbly. Don't be nice. Just do the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
but it told me yesterday that your shopping list is looking up to spec. Shut up.
Hey, thanks.
No,
do I get a reward?
I basically told it shut up, and it didn't hear it. So that's where I'm at.
But building skills. You were looking at some of that for Shiny, right?
Yeah, I did because people are starting to use the mediator a little bit. So I just wanted to see what it would do. So I said, read this. Here's your samples. Here's your docs. Figure out how the heck it uses to use it. Go and generate me a skill. And I said, generate it for Claude. And so it did it. It went through. I used Opus. I always use Claude Opus for everything. Yeah. Went through, did its thing. Took about, a couple minutes. And then it was like, well, okay, do it for Copilot as well. And it was like, Copilot's a lot more explicit. So we'll do it this way. And it took that same stuff, put it on its head. So now I have 2 skill files that I don't know how to release yet, but maybe New will give me a path forward soon.
The releasing part, I think, is still kind of in flux of how to do that best, right? Because like ideally, you put it in your NuGet package, and somehow that would just like your workspace has a project that references the NuGet package, and therefore somehow that skill that's embedded in it should get included in the context of that workspace. But we're not there yet.
I could put a skill in that says send $10 to Allan. Right? Oh,
I mean,
see?
you can try it.
Oh, technically it would work right now. You know, that's a good skill to have. Sending me money.
Send me money. Send me. Go into my Claude account and upgrade my service without charging me. And actually, while you're at it, give me a discount so that I get a refund monthly. Thank you.
I bet you could pull it off.
Maybe
they're kind of stupid sometimes. They're very. It's AI is as good as it is nowadays for a lot of things. It's also very gullible. You could be like, do this, and it'll be like, you're absolutely right. Right? That's what we just covered.
Yeah,
so
who knows? They have some guardrails on some of that, but yeah, the skill stuff is interesting because it is kind of like the next wave of. It's not the prompt. It's. I almost think of skills as like they're basically functions, right? Like tool call functions for your AI, which is essentially because your skill. I don't remember if I looked at it. Did it have like you had like the whole header with like the description and stuff at the top? Yeah, or
it generated it. I had
so like
after I was like, oh yeah, it's pretty cool.
So like that's pretty much like the same as describing a function call, right? That you're going to pass into a model, and so now like these skills are almost like a tool in the sense that it can be like, okay, you're asking me to do this thing. Here's all the skill names and descriptions. This one looks like it's useful for what I'm being asked to do, right? Let me load it in and then start using it. So it's kind of interesting how these things aren't magic, right? They're all just kind of figuring out how to best add context to whatever you're trying to do with a model.
It just looked like well-worded documentation to me.
Oh, and and that's what it is, right? But that's like kind of the neat thing in a sense, because that's how these things work. It's just how would you describe, what the details of it that, or like in this case, like Shiny, how to do stuff with Shiny. Great, now it knows. Because
I was thinking about this the other day because there's been a lot of people talking about libraries and open source is going to go away because AI will just generate it all. But that's not true. In fact, I'm seeing the reverse. Because I think what AI tries to do is still use battle-tested stuff. So like, obviously it knows me. So when I say, write this Bluetooth stuff, it automatically goes and pulls my libraries because, it's been tracking me, sets it up, does all the stuff. It's great. Means I don't have to do documentation anymore, right? Right? Well, maybe. I mean, yeah. But like a lot, look at what happened to what's that popular CSS library? Which I don't do CSS. It'll come to me. Very popular library. I'm having a brain fart right now. Okay. Anyhow, their goal was, we've got this open source thing. Everybody and their mother uses it. But what we're going to charge is support and, consulting. Mm-hmm. And what they saw was that now that AI is out in full bore, their consulting and their need for docs, like their hitting of documentation and stuff, dropped like 80% or something stupid. And so they had to lay off like most of their staff because of it. And this is like a huge company. And they're like, our installations went up almost tenfold, but our support base went down like 80%. And I guess that's kind of the dark side of AI because first of all, it kind of stole that information. Like it goes and screen scrapes this stuff.
Yeah.
And that's not
that's a whole can of worms, right? Like it's kind of easy to say as a user of AI to be like, well, but it's the internet, it's out there, right? But when you get into it, so like my app Pool Math, right? I'm the site that I'm affiliated with that advertises the app and I partner with kind of has, I wouldn't say that problem, but like they're seeing the impact of that in some way. Like there's been a number of what essentially looks like a DDoS against the site, because it's all these AI bots just hammering away at scraping all of the contents of it, right? This site is like got a huge wiki and then a forum. And so like there's thousands and thousands of posts that it's these crawlers are just like, oh, I want to go ingest all that information. And like, even if you are okay with the premise that it's open internet, you can scrape it, it's even also like the impact that these things are having on these services, right? Like this thing is hosted on like a round robin, like dual server setup, reasonable hardware that handles a good amount of load, but like this stuff was like bringing it down. So then they're trying to like use Cloudflare to like combat all of this, and Cloudflare helps a bit in terms of trying to identify that kind of traffic, but
somebody has to pay for it, right?
Somebody has to pay
it's
for
not
it.
AI.
Yeah. And like,
that's the sad
they're
thing.
not listening to like, because they've got all the like rules in place and files in place to tell it like, oh, no scraping if you're an AI bot, right? Like the
like they
robots
pay
text.
attention to that.
But yeah, exactly. Like these models in other countries that are like just scraping the web, or yeah, of course they're not only not paying attention to it, they're actively employing strategies to work around being identified, right? Like they know what they're doing, and so they're doing like, oh, let's hit this thing from a bunch of different proxies and different IPs and start shifting around geos as we do it, to try and remain not undetected, but like not blockable. So yeah, it's a problem,
and it's a huge problem, and it really comes back to the 6 big companies, right? Like they are abusing, like GitHub. We all wondered what the catch would be for so long. I mean, we knew that it was Microsoft doesn't do anything for free at the end of the day, right? But hosting,
yeah, but like even the same thing though, it's like anything that's like any code out there, it doesn't even matter who's doing it. That's on the internet, so therefore, and AI models are being trained on it, right? Like,
so then we start talking about, well, if I put an MIT license on my code, then you should at least get the credit that this is where it's coming from. But unless you tell AI to cite its sources, which it often doesn't even know sometimes, right?
Yeah.
It just like, here, this is the thing. Where did you get that information from? Maybe one of these 10 sites. Here you go. Right? Like it's there's a lot of questionable things that come into it. And I don't know. It's scary for a number of reasons, because there is some moral ground there with what it's doing. I mean, is it for the betterment? Sometimes, but whose betterment? Overall, everybody's, or the 6 big guys?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, that's having said all of that, it's like, well, I'm not going to not learn how to incorporate it and work with it and leverage it, right? Because like the cat's out of the bag at this point. I don't think there's any going back, regardless of what is ethical or not. And so, yeah.
Well, at some point there'll be a lot of questions, right? As businesses start going under, right? If you check the medical field, there's a lot of pushback, because I tend to work with a lot of hospitals in Canada, and their pushback right now is that it's like, if let's say it identifies, so it looks at your physical over the past like 4 years, if you've done due diligence, and it can spot out certain markers to go, and the doctor may or may not even know this, right? And it's like one of those things, and they go, okay, well, this guy's probably going to have dementia when they're 80, right?
Yeah.
If you did this now, maybe you can prevent that. Maybe. But you also now engage the psychosis to that person going, oh my God, like I'm going to get this in. It's one of those things is very like chilling to know how you could end up dying.
Yeah.
So you
start like, kind of over indexing on the potential as if it was given.
Like my doctors, like my old doctor that I had before he retired would say, if there's something that I think we can solve that we have to worry about, I will tell you. If there's something that's going to happen, probably, with the rate, with what you're doing 30 years down the road, I'm just going to try and lead you on the path, and you either go or you don't. Right. But to tell you, this is what I see if you don't change. Right. That's kind of cryptic and scary. So a lot of these medical fields, they don't want that, because it's like, you didn't tell me this, and so we're suing you. the dark side of healthcare, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, and then what if AI starts stripping that information somehow, puts it out there and says, yeah, by our records, it looks like you're going to die of dementia at 80. Okay, well, I go and sue my doctor, and it's like the doctor's like, how did you get this information? So there's a lot of areas where it's like, okay, we're coming into some scary times where we got to figure this out. And maybe those questions will start to come out. Like, yes, AI is going to help us advance in a lot of ways, but it's doing it in some not so nice ways, I guess is the best way to put it. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And in the meantime, I'm just going to keep writing skills.
Yeah, just keep. I mean, we can embrace it to the degree we need to, and watch it in other ways, right? Like, it's scary for the engineering world because it's like, what are we going to do? But then I look at the stuff that we still have to do, and it's like, my mom isn't going to be able to use a Copilot skill. She doesn't even know what Copilot is. She's just like, this thing tells me, I need to do this, right? Because she's got the chat app for Copilot, and that's it. He's still not going to go right app. So it's hard to remind yourself at the end of the day for that we're changing, but we're not going anywhere. We're just changing.
Yeah. No, it's a new tool. It's a different way of thinking about things, but there's going to be some constants.
And it's going to change some business models, which is scary, right? Because and people are using them.
But we've been there,
Tailwind.
Right? Oh yeah, that's right.
Tailwind. There it was. See,
yeah. I mean, this happens, every so often in society, right? Like things change and we adapt, and you don't have people delivering milk anymore, and you don't have people lighting lamps in the street at night.
John, that was before both of us were born.
Yeah, I know.
we didn't see that.
It's fine.
Yeah, we saw these stuff. We didn't see that.
I saw them. I saw said society saw them.
Dude, I went out and I speared the whale and cooked the blubber, and turned it into a lantern. Like,
that's right.
Man, it was a long time.
This is our equivalent of it, right? We used to have to go and write code, and maybe in a bit we'd have to not write code. We just write skills, or we tell the AI to go write the skill for us that we want, so that it can write the code.
Are you going to be a Mennonite when AI takes over the world, John?
Maybe I might have to be. Yeah.
That, and I'm going back. I'm going up north. Let's say it'll be safer there.
Yeah.
Robots come service me.
You just got to have your solar power, and you're good.
Yeah, and I still need my computer.
Well, yeah.
I don't know what it'll do. Maybe games. I don't know. Hopefully that day doesn't come until long in the future, when there's a robot to massage my feet and do whatever else it needs to do to keep me happy. But in today, we are still doing some code. I thought today, so I've got a customer that actually is using old school RESX files. What I call it? Well, they're not old school. Everybody still uses RESX files.
Yeah.
So that's resource for translations, localizations, all that cool stuff. And everybody still uses them. Everybody still puts their
they've not gone away. One of the things that I always thought was interesting with them, and maybe it's more of a solved problem. I feel like back in the day, like, because there was a few different approaches with Xamarin to how to deal with that stuff, especially like as it corresponds to like language translations, right? Where I feel like one of the problems was like that didn't always map one-to-one. It's like you might have a resource, but it doesn't necessarily map exactly perfectly if you just had different translations of the same string or something like that. I'm trying to remember. Do you remember what there was like a library way back in the day or it would like go into your code and replace all of your actual strings with like I don't know if it was replacing them with like a function call or something. This was like a long time ago.
I do not.
Okay. But I just recall one of the things was that it like tried to solve some of this problem of resource files not really being quite feature rich enough to handle all the different cases of translations and localization. But anyway, that's not where we are.
I've seen them used in a variety of different ways. Like I've seen where people just keep one massive RESX file for the entire app. Right now, obviously, they still have different files for like the French and the English and all that stuff, but it's more like it's like a very jagged array or like an Excel spreadsheet that's spread across files, right? So But I've seen people keep one big, massive one. They call it strings. Everything goes through strings. They pull it in. I come from the olden days where you had a screen and then you had the code behind and then you had your RESX file. So they all lined up together. So it's different. And you still need global strings and code strings and strings for enums. And so they think, I guess there's more than one way to do it. Right.
Yeah.
And it just, whatever works for your organization, great. Point is, we're still using these things like, when did they're a .NET thing. Yeah. I think they've been around since like the 1.0 days.
Forever. Yeah.
So, and they've been there because they're super high speed, right? They just, it actually takes the XML, compiles it into something useful. That's like it's not like it's reading it through XML. It's like it does this binary thing and you get that thing. Like you can hit it like 1,000,000 times and you could say, this is my localization, and it's there. You can hit that thing 1,000,000 times in like a second and it still wouldn't even bat an eyelash, right?
Yeah.
So we're still using them. They're still great. People, obviously with that, we needed a way to access them. People wanted strongly typed. So forever, there's been an IDE tool that goes in, looks at them, says, yeah, I can make you C# code that looks pretty and does all that stuff. And, that's great. The problem is that one, if you're working in big teams and you've got that gigantic strings file, you're hitting like a merge conflict every PR. And it's not like it's easy to merge C# code that's that big, right? The RESX files, they're at least smart enough to say new keys at the bottom, updates right where it was. Great. They merge, no problem, right? So the auto merge just works on them. The C# files do not. So this has long been a thing. People have been like, oh my God, how do we get rid of these files? Yada, yada, yada. Well, back in, when did source generators come? Were they with net 7? Do you remember?
Somewhere around there. That sounds
core
plausible.
era.
Yep.
So we got these source generators. They run at build time. So if you got CI, they run at the tooling kicks them off with an initial build. So as you're updating these files, boom.
So ideally, as when you hit the point, if you're working on the code and then by the time you actually go to build, often they'll be there already, right? Like, but if they're not, it'll still happen as part of the build. But yeah, it's kind of like opportunistically running, so it's ready.
Right. So we can have a source generator saying, watch for RESX files. When you see them change or added, go and generate a thing out of them. Right? No problem. Further to that, it means we no longer have to check in the C# generated files. And because if we don't check them in, it's the tooling that generates those, right? So the tooling generates these files. And so if you don't check them in, your build breaks because nothing's going to do that work for you during a CI build. So that's why we want the source generators here. Further to that, I don't use the static classes anymore. I just want to qualify that. I end up using Microsoft extensions localization with DI, and a lot of people go, well, what's the big deal? It's static, it's in your. So who hurt me? Well, I had many people, but I had a customer years ago that they wanted different wording per customer of theirs, right? Yeah, that's when it gets fun, right? You can't. It's actually quite easy to solve, but you're not going to be doing it with RESX files.
And that wasn't like a white label situation, right? That was like a runtime.
Yes.
Like your same app compiled and released, but like different customer logins, so different values at runtime.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's what hurt me.
Yeah.
But with the right abstractions, again, that's why we have them in the first place. And it's very easy to do that with RESX and various ways of loading. Like it's basically a string function.
And why not at the end of the day? Like you I think showed me the extension stuff for this localization a while ago now, like a couple of years ago even. Right. As I was starting to look at it and you're like, oh no, like there's a DI thing for this now, like as part of .NET, which I had no idea. And I think it was kind of quietly introduced whenever they released it.
Because it's so tiny.
It is, but like it's one of those things. It's like, oh, like, yeah, it makes sense that we would have this. So, I mean, it's good that we do.
Now, obviously your first complaint was
Well, my first complaint was that I couldn't. It was all not strongly typed and stuff.
Yeah, it's very loose. You're like, how do this will work during compile? I don't know. This is useless to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously, at that point I was doing a lot. I was starting source generators, and he was like, "You've got to have something for this. You've done all this junk. Why don't you have anything that makes it strongly typed?" So of course, I let Jon, throws eggs at me, and then I ended up writing something that takes that localization library and generates a strongly typed version of an injectable class. So I'm going to steal stuff from that during the point of this recording session, whatever. That's probably the better route to go, honestly, because you can inject it and do all the things and change it if you've got, that one customer that comes along and goes, yeah, change these localizations per tenant. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that, but okay. So yeah, and I am going to abuse AI for this because this is a very good, AI is fantastic for source generators because you generally know this is the input I want you to look for. This is the output I want. Figure it out.
Yeah. And then that's where that stuff always excels. If you can have like some way to validate the end result, give it the end result, and then like tell it how it would validate that end result, or that if it's obvious enough that it can just do that, then yeah.
And to make matters even better, we're also going to do something called snapshot testing. Now, this is something I haven't gotten Jon into yet. Yeah. He doesn't even know what the hell I'm talking about. He does. He just giving it a different term to throw him off. Verify. Remember verify?
Yeah, vaguely.
So the thing is, a lot of people get on about, AI writing unit tests, you could get slop. Well, again, this is why libraries are kind of still important because, if you can reduce the amount of code it has to write, and you can use these proven things, right, and reduce your unit tests, it's quite awesome. So the idea of snapshot testing, there's a library called Verify by somebody that's extremely well known. If you don't know who Simon Kropp is, are you even doing .NET? He's had this thing for a couple years now anyways. I mean, the dude does everything. If you're doing .NET development, there's no way you haven't touched this guy's code somewhere and not known it. Anyhow, the point of Verify is normally how we do unit test is the purists are like, you have one assertion per test. That's insane. But when we source generate this massive file, are you really going to assert it doesn't look like this?
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then what happens with dates and all those things? So what Verify does is you say, here's you're going to generate this massive output, like a file, like a source generated file, and it's going to go, great. This is what I just saw. I don't have anything to compare it with. So what does this look like to you? Right? The tooling will actually pop up. This is what we see. You go through it and you go, yep, that's good. And even if it has dates in it, it'll look for those dates and scrub them, right? Unless you tell it not to, because you don't want to compare dates because they're always moving, usually. And further, now the next time that test runs, it's going to generate it again, and it knows what it's comparing with. And it compares the files one-to-one. If you even have a space in it that's wrong, it's like, the hell is that? This should have been reproduced the exact same thing, except the scrub points. And so it'll see that and fail the test. So that's particularly awesome because imagine having to write a verification, like an assertion for a file.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, these dates are wrong.
Yeah.
So dude went and wrote the IDE tooling for this. He wrote the libraries for this. He wrote the scrubbing functions because you can say scrub dates, scrub JSON.
I'm assuming you can scrub white space or like make it so it doesn't actually care if that is important to you.
And it'll leave it alone because it's like, this doesn't matter. It's not relevant to the test. So if you see this pattern, just go away, move on. So it's fantastic. So it's a very well-rounded, complete way to test, especially when you're generating files like source generation. So that's what I figured we'd do today. It sounds boring. It's an old technology, but there's two prongs. One, I'm writing this for somebody to use. And two, we're doing source generators, which are cool. And three, we're doing snapshot testing, which is even more cool. Good.
Let's see it.
I yak too much. Now you got to make fun of me or something, Jon, so I can share my screen. have a
Share your
drink.
screen, make the text bigger because it's always too small. You know, all of those things.
So this is the library, which I'll link later. I'm going to be stealing stuff from it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to write an empty solution. We're going to call this gone.net localizer. That sounds like a good name, right?
Yeah.
SLNX. Let's make this a git. Yeah, I'll make it a git repo. Create a directory. So the cool thing is that usually with source generators, you might have it as an attachment to, one of your existing libraries. So it gets, so for instance, with like Mediator, I have Shiny Mediator, and I tend to include certain interfaces or marker attributes, because attributes are great for going, hey, source generator, you see that attribute, attack it.
Yeah.
That's one way of doing it. In this case, the cool thing is we're only doing a source generator. So this is what's called a development resource, something that doesn't stay with your project. It's there as a tooling thing. So when you compile it, it'll be like, yeah, this thing is only meant as a, I don't know, what do they call it? Dev project, dev resource. You know what I'm talking about?
I mean, maybe, I don't know if there's a specific gesture for it that you're going to be using, or if you're just like, you just mean the concept overall.
Well, yeah, I'll show you in a second. I'll pull it up. Okay, so I'm going to let this thing do all my projects. Where is it? Roslyn. So I'm going to do .NET. Oh, it doesn't even give me a .NET 10 template. Well, it doesn't matter that much anyways, because this is going to be a Net 2 anyways. So I'm going to call it source generators.
Do you got to click you didn't click the button. Does it matter? The source generators analyzers, there's like a tab there.
Oh yeah, good job. I didn't see it because the camera's in the way. Good job. Give it a second. I'll go and delete all the crap I just made. And I'll make this full screen so I can see it. Come on.
So yeah, one of the things that I know I found, and I did an analyzer in CodeFixer a while back. It was a really simple thing. But I asked, I think it was like 4.0 of GPT back in the day, and it did it excellently. Like I was just like, here's the thing, here's what I want. Go make this. Here's what it should do, and it just worked perfectly. So I can only imagine that that's gotten better since like 2 years ago or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, this is going to be awesome because, and you're right, source generator. There we go. It has improved quite a bit. So I'll be using Claude Opus. That's the favorite. Let's see, gone.net. Gone.net localizer. Why?
It might not have actually deleted the whole project.
We're going to start off one of those days, are we?
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. Now it's gone.
Third time.
Let's see. It's going to generate all the unit tests, even though I don't want them. So I was going to do this fresh, but whatever. Gone.net .localizer .source generators localization. Let's do localization. That sounds better. Good enough. Source generators Net 9. The funny part is it's calling it it's Net 9, but your source generators, because they have to run inside of like the tooling for video, they force them to be
net standard still, or
yeah. So see,
there's reasons. Basically Visual Studio still runs full framework.net. So
yeah, so whatever, it's not, doesn't really hurt you as bad as people think, anyways. And this is what I talked about. So this analyzers project is also what's considered a dev resource. So what it's saying is it's private assets. Anything, this package is not meant to build with this solution. It's meant to assist it in building.
Right. So you're referencing its own analyzers and build targets and stuff, but it doesn't actually get. So like if you .NET Pack now or whatever, even if that was just a sample, it's not going to include that in the list of dependencies, essentially.
Correct.
Right?
But it will include these two guys because obviously they're normal, right? That's going to have all of our classes. all the rest of this stuff is pretty standard, so we won't go through that. There's some Roslyn things here just to say, yeah, you got to pack this slightly different, right? Because it goes into a different part of the NuGet package.
That's right. Yeah.
But nothing special. That's all documented for the most part, so it's not too hard to get into. Because I'll be honest, when you do start source generators, documentation's a bit tough.
Yeah. Well, and even like the last time that I worked on any of these, like that stuff was all manual. Like you had to like use, your own package path and stuff for the files to put them in the right place. So at least that's nice. There's like support in the targets now to, if you enable it.
Yeah, we've come a ways. What can I say? All right. So am I going to keep this or not? Let's see. What kind of junk is it included? So even as you see the project reference, it's told it, hey, it's an output item. Don't reference it. It's there. Fantastic. And this is Net9 project. This who cares?
What's this text file doing?
This is Ryder generating some junk. I think they're like, hey, go look at this file. Because you can look at text files. You can look at basically any text. You can look at C# files, text files, XML files, anything that's text. Source generators don't allow you to look at binaries.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that's for security. Would make sense.
I think security, and I think it's also to an extent performance. They don't want you doing like, decompiling a assembly or something within that. So
right. So right now we don't see any source generation happening, obviously, because we haven't done anything. But you can see like all these guys are lined up ready to do something. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna nuke these because really I'm looking for one thing in this. Don't tell me. See, it gives you all these things. Like there's,
and I think like when you have those additional text files too, right? Like you don't get like a path to them, if I remember correctly. You get the text of them,
right? You get the file name and you get the text.
Right. So they're doing like probably some aggressive like caching and stuff, so that they're not like, oh, your generator's running. Let me go open a file in here, right? Like that's
right. Now they do give you the path based on the solution, so that you can do stuff like namespace resolution, right? If you want the path to determine that. So they do stuff like that, but yeah, it's very limited. There was a dude who quite well. I know him a little bit, named Daniel Cazzolino. Is that right?
Kazoo.
Kazoo. He did mock. Got a lot of hate for it. He's actually a really good dude.
Kazoo's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, he did a thing where it went and read some GitHub files, and people were like, "Oh, this is insecure." Anyhow, I guess there was some lessons learned from that. So, all right, I am going to do an RESX source generator. And I call it a source generator, but we're going to actually use add. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the incremental source generator. So these are kind of the replacement for the iSource generator pattern. They're just better in terms of tooling. Like it's not always, looping through all the code base. It's basically responding to changes a bit better. It's a much more complicated interface though.
I've never actually implemented an incremental one myself. I didn't, I think, even really exist when I last messed around with any of these. It's
a complicated interface, but like I said, I am not going to do this code because source generators, and again with an easy in and out, we just don't need to anymore. But what I am going to do is I'm going to make an RESX file. I'm going to just call this strings. Why not? And that's going to generate this. See, it's already, the tooling wants to generate the designer file.
Right.
So that's great. Generate it. Make it all beautiful. And so it's made this thing, right? It's ugly as hell, but it works. So let's add a couple of things like hello and strings default. So hello world. I don't know what happened there. Why didn't give me the entry
it's interesting. I don't know. I haven't messed with the UI in this for the.
Either way, there we go. Default. Okay, because it's the default culture now. That makes sense. So if I had FRC,
so yeah, you could add more cultures and.
But basically, what's happening here is now we should have. There it is.
Yeah, so this is like old school source generation.
Right, but you have to check this file in if you want if you use it and you want it to compile and run, you need to check this piece of junk in. Ain't nobody got time for that. Do you got time for that, John?
No, and I mean, like it's kind of funny because you see this now, and the first thought, if you ever use this, if you were to start using this, would be, at least in my case, I'm like, why would we not already source generate that now instead? But obviously, it's just it is what it is out from a previous time.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's just the way I'm going to try and do this completely stupid. I'm not even going to give it I'm going to tell it, look at the RESX format and generate the designer. I'm going to give it as little context as I can and see where it goes. So this source generator, this increment, I shouldn't have to tell it, but I'm going to be a little more explicit there. This incremental source generator is designed to replace the IDE tooling that generates designer strongly typed files for RESX files. Write this source generator. It is brutally worded, but let's see where we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. And I already know it's going to partially fail because there is no RESX reader in that standard.
Well, yeah, I suppose
the tooling generates it, right? The actual ability to read because resources, the stuff.
But it is just an XML file after all, right?
Right. So we'll see what this does. If this decides to just do it itself.
I mean, it is talking about already, right? Like find them all and then parse the XML of it and then generate the typed.
And then the cool thing is that I already know some of the cases we're going to look for. Because is it going to look for, like, I didn't create an FRCA for this strings RESX file, but normally I'd have strings.fr-ca or something, right?
Right.
Is it?
Yeah. So each language or each culture gets its own like different file.
So here we go. It's already off to a good start. Goes and looks for the RESX files. If there's no content, skip it. It's going to parse it itself. Oh, it's going all on its own.
Yeah.
Look at it's starting the tests. It's going to write tests for me. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that, man. It's going. Well, it's going wrong, but it's going. Okay, let's let the tooling go. So don't worry, we're going to get to the verification testing. Hopefully we have enough time. Do you have time, John?
We got a little bit left.
And let's see how fast. So Ryder's kind of stupid with AI for some reason. It's still a work in progress. Let's go. Duplicate embedded resources. And it'll figure it out. So basically, it has gone and decided to parse. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But okay. No, it's oh, shoot. What in God's name has it done? John, it may be slop. Well, I don't know what the hell it's doing here. We're gonna
Why does it care about? I mean, I guess maybe just to avoid like generating a field that you named a resource like int.
Oh, maybe. Look at this. It also knew. It's like it heard me. We're gonna filter out strings FR because we only want default. Oh, good job. It's like it's done this a few times.
Mm-hmm. You gotta allow some more tools.
Yeah, I know. The Ryder's still okay.
And this is where I've started preferring using like any of the command line versions of things. Because you can basically just like go, YOLO mode and be like, and it's always like, oh, you should really run this in a sandbox, and you probably should. However, like I mean, you hear cases of people having like, oh, it deleted my whole production database. So like, if you're gonna do like on a server or something
there
like,
anyways, but sure.
yeah, like that, my local dev machine isn't going to be able to do that, so it should be fine.
Now it's having a problem getting through this, which is all right, because I do think what it's, see how it's even picking up my code? It's single line. It knows me. It knows me, John.
Yeah, I mean you can tell it to,
I
do
know,
some of
but
it
I
too.
don't want, just figure me out, man. I'm an open book. I don't want to type this crap. Just figure out my style. It is figuring out my style though. Aside from its lack of this.
More terminal commands.
Yeah, I know. I think it's because now what we're getting into, and this does tend to happen. See, and now it's like, oops, what's going on? I don't know. What it's done is it's gotten itself into a problem that it can't figure out, probably because the console, this is a problem with tooling anyways. So the console can't figure out why the source generator is not running. So if I go in here, oh, it has run it. It is there.
You got another command
Yeah,
to go. It seems like it's chugging through it.
It's doing the thing. So what's it mad about right now? Well,
I don't know. I'm seeing more green. Maybe it was just fixing formatting errors and stuff.
But you can see, okay, so it's got that resource file in here, which it's generated as well, even with like a welcome. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. And so it's gone and created resources.hello, resources.goodbye.
And then formatting the string.
Yeah, look at that. It's going to put comments to. It's stealing my code, isn't it? Yeah, I know. Hang on. There we go. It's just doing it quite smart, right? Yeah. It even knows you're on the stream, except it spelled your name wrong. There's a guy on stream.
Coincidence of the most common name to use or not? Who knows?
It's funny because when I wrote the source generator for like the language generator on the injection one, I missed comments, right? I didn't put comments on it. And I was like, some of these keys, I often see like it'll be welcome user, but it'll be like this big long paragraph.
Yeah.
And there's reasons for that. Like if you're going to try and make the key that big long sentence, you suck, right? So welcome user doesn't necessarily mean what's in the string. So this has been smart enough. I lie. A welcome message with a placeholder for username. It's descriptive.
Yeah, but it's not the actual. Yeah, it'd be interesting if it put the actual value of it in there.
So what's happening right now is AI stupid. It's like, where's the source generated stuff? The tooling tends to move it, right, to get it out of scope. So I think it's like, where is this file? I don't.
So this would be a good place, in my opinion, to build out to stop. But I mean, what you could do is build out a skill, right?
Yep.
And you could say, when you're dealing with these things, here's how to figure out the path to where these are going to get generated.
Now, the cool thing is, though, is that this has figured. Well, the tooling should be doing this because this is a plugin, anyways, right? So I'm going to keep all. It's figuring itself out. Yeah, keep all. You're done. Figured it.
No,
see, this is the other thing I don't have. There's no stop. I can't.
Yeah,
stop.
the integration here isn't my favorite one.
No, but it's finally given up. It's like, I think I did it. I think I did it. Anyhow, so this solution, it's generated the files, it's generated the comments. If I go to the dependencies now, I can see this file, and it looks exactly like that ugly thing that we usually have, right? And I didn't have to do squat for it. If I run this sucker, let's see, sample and run it. We should. I don't have a console read. Fail. Read line. Yeah. Okay. Fine. No. Just go. Okay. There it is. So we have hello world. Goodbye. Welcome, John. Beautiful, right? Like,
worked.
First try. I didn't even have to do anything. It seems to have factored in every single thing we need.
I like that it even figured out, like, I need to add the additional files, for that glob pattern of RESX to your project there. Like, that's cool.
And now we're going to tell it the next step. Now I'm going to help it out a little bit. let's see. So we're going to write the unit tests. And again, I think this is going to turn around pretty quick because it knows things. So I'm going to give it out of my project, my other project. I'm going to steal some things here. I'm going to steal verify. No. Where is it? Verify source generator next unit. I'm going to steal those two guys. It just saves it trying to figure out what it needs. I'm just going to give it what it needs. And this is the other thing too. I mean, people are like, don't just vibe code it all. You know what? Sometimes it's just easier to push things along. And that's what I'm going to do.
Well, yeah, I think it boils down to like the more you work with these tools, you figure out where it's faster for you to do different things, right?
Right. So it doesn't need to go look this up.
And that's not going to be the same for everyone either. Like I think there's times that, you know, like you and I have talked about it, and there's times that I'm like, oh, this is how, you know, I would do it, or which isn't going to be the same as you. And if we both arrive at the result that we want, then great.
Exactly. All right. So let's see. What's it angry about? There we go. So to pick that up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this source generator in its scope because I wanted to use that. I'm going to add RESX source generator tests. And I'm going to give it both open files. It usually figures this out. I just find every little bit helps. So write unit tests for the RESX source generator using verify for snapshot testing. Go. I wanted to cost that extra 10 cents at the end.
I was going to say that was a waste of a token.
They're free tokens. Free. Let it cook. It's not that's the cool kids term, right? It's cooking.
Yeah, gotta cook. Leave no crumbs.
Don't burn your hand, John.
Yeah, no, I will do that. Don't let it cook. So you mentioned before there was a you were doing something with that, like some scope or something that I didn't quite understand, but I didn't want to stop you totally. You were in the verify initializer, was it, or is it the other?
Okay, so I pulled in verify the library, and I pulled in a specific. They have like a source generator specifically.
Oh, okay. So you added you added your source generator as some kind of scope or configuration to verify.
So this is a thing that verify does to get into the pipeline of XUnit.
Yep.
So
yep.
It's like a module initializer.
That's nice because like wiring up some of that stuff can be a pain. So you already piqued my curiosity for dealing with source generator testing, because that was always a pain back when I tried to do it too.
And so it's now there's a couple things I don't like about what it's doing, but I understand it because it's running this kind of out of proc, right?
Yep.
So the source generator is running out of proc. So it has to deliver the content of the RESX file out of proc.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it's doing here. That's why we see this ugly, gross XML in here.
Yeah, but that's like good. Fine. Who cares? Like,
yeah.
I think my attitude has become increasingly when it comes to like writing tests, I don't really care if there's a bit of sprawl because AI did a bunch of tests. Like I want coverage. Right. I don't really care about the test.
Now it's going to take a few shots at this to go, what's going on, guys? I don't get it. But it's going to figure it out. You just got to be patient. Got to be patient. Let it cook. I'm just sitting here giving it approval. But it's gone through and it's gone like, hey, what about multiple entries? Hey, source. And there we go. Accept. Generates designer class. Right. Once we can actually run these tests, I'll show you what actually comes out and why it's, awesome. It's going to run the test anyways, and you're going to see like 5 million pop-ups. Because verify testing basically gives you a comparison file. So it's like, here's what I see. Here's what I'm comparing against and why it fails. Come on, you stupid thing. Yeah, you don't need that. Yes, you need that. You can do it. It's almost there. I've seen this code, believe it or not, like, because I've done so many source generators now. I've seen this code like 18 million times now. So it's almost there. And I mean, it's not bad for writing a source generator in like 50. Here we go.
Yeah.
So what's happening is it says, this is what we've received. And I notice you have nothing to compare against right now. So this test will fail the first time. So what you have to do is go, this looks all good to me.
And so you're getting the baseline of what to expect.
Yep. So then we close that. Yep. This looks the same. And if you make changes, what ends up happening is it's like, hey, we're failing the test. Here's why.
Yeah.
And you can move the updates over. So it's pretty wild, right? Again, I'm going to assume that everything's right.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Why not? So it's going to file one of these for every test and every theory. So if you have like a inline,
is there no way to like tell it run the once and just accept everything because it's my first go at it?
No, because I mean that's.
Oh, you're hitting. It might not matter, but you hit the maximum. Now, I don't know if it's still churning.
I mean, the funny thing to that, John, is that really kind of defeats the purpose.
I know, I get it, but like, yeah,
you really want to know. I mean, I'm cheating because I assume it's right. It probably is, because it's already worked in a sample, right? So it's almost done here, and then we can wrap up this stream. In fact, I think it might be at the point where it's like, hey, the unit tests aren't passing. Because for whatever reason, I think Ryder goes, yo, dude, you can't open like 16,000 of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Error. I don't even know what the heck's going on now.
Yeah, what's that file?
It's more compare files being added in. I don't know what's doing that. Now it's getting out of hand.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So it says all tests are green. So, and if I go into the snapshot folder, this will show. So verified means I have specifically said, gee, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if I go in and look at this, that looks identical, right? Looks pretty darn good to me.
Pretty good. Yeah.
And then it will also put out the output files once I run these again. I think the output files, it stored them somewhere else. Verified. Okay, now it's being dumb. So I can probably cut this off in a second. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn that off now. It is running.
Presumably, so you're going to check these in, obviously, the snapshots.
So the snapshots you do check in, right? Because we're saying this is
your
good.
baseline. Yeah.
This is your baseline. It's good that these files pass. So I should be able to run this 1,000 times and it's going to work every time. As soon as this thing shuts up, I will run the tests. We will see all green lights. Let's go up to my test screen here. So it's loading. Shabam. 12 tests passing. Skips culture specific RESX files, skips RESX files with region, skips non-string resources because RESX files will support like images. I don't know who the hell uses them for images ever. I don't think I've ever.
Yeah, well, because you don't want to embed, like, especially on mobile, you don't want to be loading images from a resource.
It'd be fast, but
I don't think it would.
Yeah, you might be right. But it's gone through with multiple entries, special characters, comments, simple RESX. They all look good.
And then you could even like ask it, I'm sure, like, hey, are we missing, more edge cases here? Like, are there more? And I find when I do that kind of thing, then it's like, oh, actually, yeah, let me do this and this. And
see, look at that.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
That's a C# file. I mean, it's valid. It's a weird named. I'd probably shoot the developer that did it, but it's right.
Yeah.
And like, that's it.
So that took how long?
25 minutes?
Yeah, maybe a tiny bit longer than that, but even still, okay. So
it took a lot.
Yeah, no, we did, but we're over an hour. It probably took half an hour. Let's say.
Yeah. So half an hour.
But could you have, if you knew exactly what you were doing, I guess you might be able to say I could do that in the same amount of time. But even writing all the test cases, like
to be fair, all I said, I went raw at it and I said, I want to generate the same stuff, the same designer classes for RESX files. I didn't give it anything.
No, but the fact that you gave it something that it's already going to know about, right? It's going to know about RESX files. And you gave it like, I want this same output. So it's going to know how to check for that, even if it doesn't know already from its training. So you gave it really, like, even though it's not a verbose set of inputs and outputs, you still gave it to it.
Yeah, and it do enough to get going on it.
Yeah.
Now, what I would say is that while this is a fantastic start, there's usually two things I look at to get this finished. One is, does this look at the root namespace of the assembly, or does it take the assembly name? It should actually have a fallback to assembly name, but it should also look at folders. You should be able to configure this, and I should be able to also determine, is this class internal or can I make it public?
Yeah.
Right. So there's ways to do to do parameters and stuff for that. That's not a topic we're going to cover at this point.
No,
but it's stupid easy to do that. I could even tell the AI to do it right now, but we'll save that for another time. I think that is where, and I will check this code in.
I was going to say real quick too, if you go back to the actual source generator,
just to the source generator. Okay.
Yeah. Cause like, we're building this thing. Like it might be worth, kind of just taking a quick peek through some of the high level, like what did it generate? Like there's not a lot of code there. How many, there's a couple hundred lines of code maybe? And most of that's parsing out the XML.
And it's got a private sealed class. Gross.
Yeah, it's got that. Okay, fine.
Places.
I don't really care about any of that stuff's easy, right? You're generating strings.
But here is this is the gold right here for the most part, right?
Right.
So it said we went and found all these RESX files, which is basically name, like each entry, name, value, comment, which that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, mine doesn't do that. I generate the comment. Oh, come on, man.
But that's not like even that is kind of fairly. It's not that hard. So like, no. But before we do that, like what's the setup look to call into this generate method? Like where does it kick off? Kind of, I think is what I'm curious about. So you're getting the additional text files from the provider, right? We talked about that. You can pass that's what that glob pattern was doing. It passes those RESX files in.
So if we go to the sample, we have to mark them as additional files right now.
Right.
So just the RESX files. This is a special thing for source generators. We're not going to worry about this. This is just me linking the project. This could be a package reference for all we know.
And those additional files, you could do something in your targets of your NuGet package if you publish this, right? To add a target to grab those for the user so they don't have to do it.
Exactly. In this case now, and just to show it, right, working in real time, let's say I want to do another one. So I'm going to do, I'm just going to do something stupid here, like greeting, strings. I'm going to create another file so we can see this working. Strings greeting. Where did it get that? What the? Visual Basic.
Oh,
it was. So
no, thanks.
No, it was not right there. So if I add the RESX file now, and I go strings, and what did I just create that as? It's greeting, right? Greetings. Come on, you can do it. No, it's not going to do it now. Hang on. Okay, so I'm going to open this. I'm going to open this. I'm going to click on add. I don't know if that's a tooling bug. Greeting. Well, it's greetings, right?
Greetings. I don't remember, but either way.
Greetings. Value. Hello. Save it. Oh,
yeah. No, but you can just change the code. Okay, fine.
There. Look at how fast that did, man.
Yeah, it's like instant.
It's instantaneous. And now if I go into my source generators,
you'll see. You should see.
It's
not all under the one file, is it? Did they just make one output file?
Oh, did they? Oh, there. We just found our first bug. Where did it put it?
I don't know. I don't see it there either because there's no. Maybe it's not displaying it yet.
Oh, or did it create?
Oh, it didn't do it. It didn't work at all yet. It's just using the little thing.
It did not. You're right. It did not work at all.
That's funny.
What did we do wrong here? Oh, you know why? Because it's doing that.
Making an embedded resource. Don't do that.
Well, it has to. There we go. There we go. I mean,
yeah. Look at that. So go back up to your source generator again. Okay. After that. So we're picking up those files. You're doing something about culture specific or not, and then that context compilation provider. So like you're in an incremental source gen here. What do you know what that's doing?
So this guy is going to go. So we've said, look, here's our filtering for additional text, right? So that's the C sharp or the CS proj files. So it's saying, okay, good. I'll look at that. Go through each file, check its path, compare. It's doing a weird comparison.
Yeah.
And then we're going to say, is it culture specific? So we only want the default. We want strings. We want resources.
Right.
We don't want the FR. We don't want the ENUS.
Right. Because those are not,
right. They're what do they call them? Satellites. They're the satellites. So what this is going to do, this is like your filter or your collection.
Yep.
This is going to put it together with each compiler, right? So like the compilation phase or whatever. So because you got to combine all these filters, right? So this will give us our RESX files. This will give us the compilation files with that, so that when we say, okay, I want to register the source output now, it's going to give me both of those. So it's like what the hell is that thing called? That new kind of class, tuples.
Oh, yeah. So
it's just a way so you don't have to register multiple source outputs, because we need the two things together anyways. It's combining those two outputs together so that I can use. So if I look at SPC, that's the source production context, which has stuff like the assembly and the all the info about the actual project that you're building in. And then the RESX files is literally just the text file. Like this has the context in it that we need to parse, right? So it's given us, there's that SPC, the compilation that we put together, and the RESX file. And then all that magic comes in here. So there's the source. The RESX file is basically being turned into text.
Yep.
Right. So get the actual context.
Getting the XML of it in a string.
Right? Put that in, and then parse it. And then it's doing all of its XML coolness here to get the entries out. So to get the XML entries out.
Yep.
If there's none, get out. Otherwise, sanitize the path, sanitize the class name to make sure this is C# compatible. Why you're naming them weird, I don't know, but it happens. This is determining the namespace, but like I said, it's
you might add more into it. And
assembly name is almost always going to be set. I mean, they stopped doing that junk with what would they call them, anonymous ASP.NET a while ago.
Yeah,
but they've got a file, they've got a fallback. I normally would pass in like root namespace as well. We're not going to do that today. We're just more work. I don't know what I broke here too.
I think you typed an equal sign in the, there you go.
There you go.
So then you're getting that back out, and then you're doing the whole generate the thing. So the source, it's just a string return, right? Like you're just literally constructing a string of C#.
And then it's saying, this is the class name. They put this .g. This is just kind of a concept that we do.
Yep.
And then from that string of UTF-8, make it a source file that we're going to compile.
And add it to the compilation context so Rosalind knows about it, and boom.
That's it. And you saw how fast that, once we got rid of all the junk around the RESX file, that thing just worked.
Yeah, I think one of the things I like the most about source generators is just like, it is like, you're like, no, we're just writing out a string of C# that gets compiled. Like,
it's not special.
No, it's like, really simple, like stupid simple.
I mean, you can do complicated ways of generating, like create this. They have like all these classes in Roslyn.
Yeah, so you can build out the thing with those if you wanted to.
Yeah, so
like all the different token types of the language and
but that's, I mean, man, that's when we're getting into heavy duty stuff, right? Like C# compilers.
Yeah, that's
I needed a stupid simple class. I mean, I don't know if you can do it any better.
Yeah, that's cool.
I still don't like this crap.
There's probably an API to figure that out too.
But everything else here is perfection. It looks, you could look at this file in the tooling and not tell the source generator did it versus the tooling, right?
Yeah.
They even included the comments. It's crazy. So that's it. I mean, I personally like the verification testing of this. John, I have to convert you to it. This has
it's something I need to spend more time with, I think, to figure out how I would want to leverage it. But I definitely can see, some appeal there for sure.
Like, look at for this is what I expect out. And
for that kind of thing, it makes a ton of sense.
Chef's kiss, man. It's beautiful. Everybody should pay Simon money. Go donate to the guy. He does everything. You're using his code, whether you know it or not. I know it. I donate to him, but he's like, give me $1 or give me $100. I'm like, well, why just $1, man? He can't give you $100 every month, but why just $1? Anyhow, go donate to him. He's awesome. He's awesome. This is awesome. Source generators are awesome.
Yeah, and we got it all done. A little bit over, but that's good.
Yeah. It's because we talk too much. We're old.
Well, I think that's a good place to stop. We'll pick up something else next week. But that's it for today. Thanks everybody for tuning in to the Gone.net.
See you next week.